Okay, today we discuss or let us start the next experiment, that is the experiment number 4 of your syllabus of your practical. So today's experiment is, and its aim is to synthesize and submit that is 2,3 diphenylquinoxanil, to synthesize and submit 2,3 diphenylquinoxanil, and also you have to determine its percent practical yield as well as its melting point. Okay. Also you have to perform you have to determine its percent practical yield as well as you have to perform the melting points. Okay. So let us start about this 2,3 diphenylquinoxanil synthesis. Now first of all we will discuss about the procedure. So let us see first is procedure. Okay. Let us see procedure. Okay. Let us see procedure. Okay. Now in procedure, first of all you have to take one beaker. Okay. First of all you have to take one beaker. Then you have to add 2.1 gram of benzene. Okay. First of all you have to take one beaker and you have to add to this beaker 2.1 gram of benzene. Then you have to add 8 ml ethanol. Okay. Then you have to add 8 ml of the ethanol or a rectified spirit or the lab solvent. Okay. After additions to this beaker, the solution. Okay. So after the addition of this 2.1 gram of benzene in beaker, after additions of 8 ml of ethanol in this beaker in benzene, so you have to stir it properly and you have to dissolve. Okay. Okay, you have to stir it properly. After that stirring, the benzene, it will not dissolve. The benzene solids will not dissolve in ethanol. Then you have to warm the mixture. Okay, you have to warm the mixture. After that, you have to warm the mixture. After the warming, there is a benzene will dissolve. Okay, benzene will dissolve. Okay, so after the warming, the benzene solids will dissolve into the solution, into the ethanol. Okay, so after that you have to take another beaker. Okay, after that you have to take another beaker. Okay, you have to take another beaker. Okay. You have to take another beaker, and into this beaker you have to prepare the next solution, that is 8 ml. First of all you have to take 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine. Orthophenylene diamine. Okay. Then you have to add into this beaker 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine. Okay. After that you have to add 8 ml of ethanol. Okay. Then you have to add 8 ml of ethanol. Okay. So into the next beaker you have to take 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine, and then you have to add 8 ml of ethanol. Okay. After that you have to stir. Okay. You have to stir this mixture and you have to dissolve this orthophenylene diamine. You have to dissolve. Okay. You have to dissolve this orthophenylene diamine into this 8 ml of ethanol into the beaker. Now after the dissolution, okay, so you have to add this beaker solution, that is orthophenylene diamine solution. After dissolution, you have to add into this warm solution. Okay. You have to add into this warm solution. Okay. So you have to add this 8 ml of ethanol and 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine. Okay, this mixture after dissolution you have to add into the previous beaker, that is this warm solution of 8 ml of ethanol and 2.1 gram of the benzene. Okay, after that you have to add into. Okay, then after addition, this solution, then you have to warm. Okay, or heat. You can see it is heat. heat for 30 minutes. Okay. After that you have to heat for this solution for 30 minutes. After addition of this 8 ml of ethanol and 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine, this solution you have to add into the warm solution of 2.1 gram of benzene and 8 ml of ethanol. Then after the addition of this orthophenylene diamine solution into the warm solution of benzene, then you have to stir it properly. Okay. After stirring you have to heat this solution for further 30 minutes. Okay. So after heating and after heating 30 minutes, you have to add water until a slight cloudiness, Okay, until a slight cloudiness. Okay, add water until you get the slight cloudiness. Okay, or PPT or precipitate. Okay, now this precipitate, after the formation of precipitate, then you have to cool on ice bath. You have to then cool on ice bath. Okay, after cooling on ice bath, then after 10 minutes on cooling on ice bath, then you have to filter. Okay, filter and then recrystallize. After that filter, okay, then recrystallize from ethanol. Okay, then it is recrystallized from ethanol. Okay, so this is the procedure for the synthesis of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. Okay, first of all you have to take a beaker. In beaker you have to take 2.1 gram of the benzene and then you have to add 8 ml of ethanol. Then stir, mix benzene. Then after stirring, then you have to warm this solution. Okay, and then after warming this solution, the benzene will dissolve. Okay, into this solution, and after that dissolution of this benzene into this solution, take another beaker, and this beaker you have to take 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine. You have to stir it and you have to dissolve it properly, and after the dissolutions in 8 ml of ethanol, this orthophenylene diamine solution you have to add then previous solution beaker, that is benzene solution, and which was warm. Okay, which is warm. So after the addition of this orthophenylene diamine solution into the benzene solution, then stir it properly and you have to warm or you have to heat this solution for 30 minutes, further 30 minutes. Okay, after heating 30 minutes, you get the clear solution or you get the dissolved solutions. Okay, then after the heating on 30 minutes, then you have to take this beaker and you have to add water or cold water until you get a slight cloudiness or the slight PPT. Okay, so after you get the PPT, then you have to cool on further for 10 minutes on ice bath this solution. Okay, then after you get the maximum amount of crystals of the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, then you have to filter these solids of the final compound and then you have to recrystallize from ethanol. Okay, now after the recrystallization or before the recrystallization, you can take the melting points. Okay, or if you take the practical test. Okay, after that, after the recrystallization also you can take the melting point and then you can compare these melting points before recrystallization and after recrystallization. Okay, so this is about the procedures of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline synthesis. Okay, after that let us see the next part, that is the theoretical part, that is the chemical reaction and its mechanism. Okay, after that we will discuss the calculation part. Okay, let us do the next part. Now let us see the chemical reaction. Let us see the chemical reactions of this synthesis. So first of all we have orthophenylene diamine. Okay, it is also called as the OPD, short form it is the OPD. Okay, also we have the benzene. Okay, benzene and orthophenylene diamine. these two chemicals will react with ethanol, and there is a stirring at room temperature. There is a dehydration takes place, that is removal of two water molecules, and finally we get 2,3 diphenyl quinoxane. Okay. So first of all, here look at here, orthophenylene diamine or OPD. Okay. So here orthophenylene diamine means here ortho position there is presence of this phenyl. That is the amine group. Okay. Also there is presence of another amine group. So it is amino group, that is it is diamine. Okay. And ortho positions of this phenyl group, presence of two amine groups. So it is the diamine. Okay. Now this phenyl, it is the lack of two hydrogens. Okay. So it is called as the phenylene. And ortho position amino group is present. So it is called as the orthophenylene diamine. Okay. That is. It is the particular 1,2 diamine. This is 1. Okay, this is first carbon, this is second. So it is 1,2 diamine. Okay, 1,2 diamine. This is 1,2 diamine, and this is the particular 1,2 diketone. Okay, or diketone compound. Okay. Now here benzene it is 1,2 dicarbonate compound. Okay. The benzene it is also called as the 1,2 dicarbonyl compound because this particular carbon on the benzene and this another carbon contains the ketone group, that is carbon oxygen double bond. Here also carbon oxygen double bond. So this carbon is one, second carbon. This is first carbon, this is second carbon. So two carbons contains two carbonyl group or ketone group. So it is 1,2 dicarbonyl compound. You can see it is benzene. Okay. Now this benzene and orthophenylene diamine when reacted with ethyl alcohol, and there is a stirring at room temperature, there is a removal of these two water molecules, and finally we get 2,3 diphenyl quinoxane. Okay. Now first of all, there is a removal of these two water molecules means is that the two hydrogens from this amino group of orthophenylene diamine. Okay, another two hydrogens from orthophenylene diamine of amino group, they will remove, and oxygens from two oxygens from this benzene, they will remove as water molecules. Okay, so this nitrogen will acquire negative charge, another nitrogens of orthophenylene diamine it acquires negative charge. Okay. And these carbons of the benzene, both carbons of the benzene will acquire positive charge, electron deficient. So this nitrogen attack on this carbon atom, which is electron deficient. Another nitrogen of orthophenylene diamine attack on the electron deficient carbon atoms of the benzene. So there is a condensation structure takes place, and finally we get the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxane. Okay. Now second, here this nitrogens of this heterocyclic ring, it is first number, second number of this ring. Okay, this is third number, and the fourth number another nitrogen. Okay, now second and third number there is a substitution of this phenyl group, so it is 2,3 diphenyl, and the remaining structure it is quinoxane. Okay, heterocyclic compound, heterocyclic structure it is remaining, it is quinoxane. Okay, so this is about the reactions of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxane synthesis. Now after this chemical reaction, let us see the mechanism. Now after the chemical reaction, let us see the mechanism of this synthesis. Okay, so first of all we have benzene and it reacted with orthophenylene diamine. Okay, now into the benzene there is the presence of two carbonyl groups, that is two ketone groups. From that any one ketone group that is containing oxygen and carbon double bond. Okay, in that pi bonds of this carbon oxygen double bond it will break. Okay, and lone pair of electron shifted on more electronegative oxygen. So this oxygen will acquire negative charge, and this carbonyl carbon will acquire positive charge. So it is electron deficient carbon. Okay, and now this oxygen which is electron rich after the giving lone pair of electron from the carbon atom by the pi bonds. Okay, so this oxygen acts as base and it will attract proton. So orthophenylene diamine contains two amino groups, any one amino group, if you see, contains nitrogen. Nitrogen contains two hydrogens. Okay, so any one hydrogen, it is attracted by this oxygen negatively charged acts as base. So this hydrogen attracted by this oxygen negatively charged towards itself. So this O become OH after taking hydrogen. Okay, now after removal of this hydrogen from this nitrogen of amino group, this hydrogen give lone pair of electron on this more electronegative nitrogen atom. So this nitrogen acquires negative charge. Okay, and it will be access nucleophile. So it will be attacked on this electron deficient carbon of the benzene ring. Okay, of carbonyl carbon of benzene ring, which is electron deficient. So in this way, this nitrogen along with this particular phenyl ring with phenyl ring with amino group, it will be attacked on this electron deficient carbon atom. There is an attachment between them. Okay, so you get this condensed structure after the attack of this nitrogens of this orthophenylene diamine on the benzene carbonyl carbon electron deficient. So you get this structure. Okay, in this structure you can see there is a attachment of this carbon atom. Okay, with this nitrogens of the orthophenylene diamine. Okay, and this is the whole structure of the benzene, you can see. Okay, and we are giving in condensed form. Okay, this is C6H5, means it is the phenyl ring. This is another phenyl ring, C6H5. This is the one carbon oxygen double bond with attached with this phenyl ring. Okay, now into the next step, what will happen? Okay, so there is a removal of water molecules, that is the dehydration process. In that, this OH group from this carbon atom, okay, this OH group from this carbon atom, it will remove. Okay, and it will abstract this hydrogen from this nitrogen atom. Okay, so there is a removal of water molecules, that is the H2. Okay, now after the removal of this OH group take lone pair of electron towards itself on more electronegative oxygen, so that this carbon is electron deficient now. Okay, and after the removal of this hydrogen from this nitrogen, so it gives hydrogen give lone pair of electron on this nitrogen atom. So nitrogen is electron rich and having lone pair of electron. Okay, so electron deficient carbon, electron rich nitrogen, so they will form the nitrogen carbon double bond. Okay, so you can see into this structure, we get this structure, lone pair of electron nitrogen and carbon, they have nitrogen carbon double bond, you can see here. Okay, so you get this structure. Now after that, in the next step, what will happen? There is a cyclic reaction or the ring closure reaction takes place. Okay, how? Look at here. Now this particular carbon oxygen double bond is present. So pi bond break, lone pair of electron shifted, more electronegative oxygen atom, so that this oxygen it is electron rich. Okay, and this carbon then electron deficient, acquires positive charge. Okay, now electron rich oxygen will abstract one hydrogen from this amino group of the ring. Okay, towards itself like this. Okay, so this O become OH. Then now this hydrogen after the removal give lone pair of electron on nitrogen. So nitrogen becomes electron rich and negative charge. It acts as nucleophile and it will be attacked on electron deficient carbon atom. Okay, and in this way nitrogen attached to carbon and we get the cyclic structure. Okay, so in this way we get the cyclic structure or cyclicalization or ring closure reaction. So we get this cyclic structure. Okay, so in that nitrogen attached to this carbon atom, nitrogen bears hydrogen only. Okay, and this carbon attached to OH group. Now we have the OH group, means that oxygen becomes OH here. Okay, after taking hydrogen. Now into the next step, again there is the dehydration takes place, that is the removal of the water molecules. Okay, this OH group from this carbon. Okay, and this hydrogen from this amino group. Hydrogen from the amino group and this OH group, they will remove as water molecules. Okay, after the dehydration process. Now this OH group takes lone pair of electron from this carbon. So this carbon is electron deficient, acquires positive charge. This hydrogen after the removal give lone pair of electron on nitrogen. So nitrogen acquires negative charge. Negatively charged nitrogen will attack on electron deficient. Electron rich nitrogens which have lone pair of electron, and electron deficient carbon which is electron deficient acquires positive charge. So they will form the nitrogen carbon double bond. Okay, so in this way formation of again second nitrogen carbon double bond. Okay, so here formation of nitrogen carbon double bond, and in this way we get the final compound, that is the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxane. We get 2,3 diphenyl quinoxane. Okay, this is about the mechanism. Now let us do the practical and after the practical then we will take practical yield for the calculation. Okay, so let us do the practical and let us do the calculation part. Now let us, after the doing practical, let us do the next part, that is the calculation part. So into the calculation, first of all you have to calculate the theoretical yield. After theoretical yield, we have the practical yield. After practical yield, we will calculate the percent practical yield. Okay, so first of all, theoretical yield of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. Let us do this calculation. So first of all, molecular formula of benzene, it is C14H10O2. Okay, means this ring contains 6 carbon, another ring contains 6 carbon, so 6 plus 6, 12, and these 2 carbons, carbonyl carbons. Okay, so it is equal to 14. So C14 and H10 means this ring contains 5 carbon, another ring contains 5, so it is equal to H10 and 2 oxygens. Okay, so C14H10O2, this is the molecular formula for benzene, and let us see the molecular weight. Okay, now atomic weight of carbon, it is 12. Okay, so 12 into 14, hydrogen 1, so 1 into 10 plus oxygen is 16 molecular weight, atomic weight, so it is 16 into 2, so is equal to, we get to 210 gram per mole. Okay, so benzene having 210 gram per mole of molecular weight of benzene, 210 gram per mole. Okay, likewise we have the molecular formula of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. Okay, so it's having the molecular formula, that is C20H12 1 nitrogen, 2 nitrogen. Okay, so C20 means this ring contains 6 carbon, this ring contains 6, another ring contains 6 carbon. Okay, so 6 into 3, so it is 18, and these 2 carbons. Okay, this one and this one, so 20. So 20 carbon and 14 hydrogen, means this is 4 hydrogen from this ring, 5 plus 5 on this ring. Okay, so total 14 hydrogen, so H14 and 2 nitrogen, this one and this one, 2 nitrogen. So okay, C20 H14 and 2 nitrogen, this is the molecular formula for the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. Okay, now after that, molecular weight of this 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide, it is then calculate 20 into 12 plus 1 into 14 plus 14 into 2, so is equal to, we get molecular weight, that is 282 gram per mole of this 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. Okay, so let us do the next step of the calculation. So into the procedure, we take 2.1 gram of benzene. Okay, so when there is a 210 gram of the benzene, it gives 282 gram per mole of the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. So 2.1 gram of benzene, it gives how much? Means x gram of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. Okay, so there is a cross multiplication is there like this. Okay, so finally we get x gram is equal to 282 into 2.1 divided by 210. Okay, so we get, after the calculation, 2.82 gram. Okay, so the theoretical yield of this 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide, it is found to be 2.82 gram. Okay, now after theoretical yield, let us do the percent practical yield. Okay, so after doing practical and after doing theoretical yield calculation, let us do the next part, that is the percent practical yield calculation. Okay, so practical yield of our compound, it is found to be 2.4 gram. Okay, so let us put this 2.4 gram weight into the formula. So percent practical yield is equal to practical yield upon theoretical yield into 100. This is the formula for the calculations of the percent practical yield. So 2.4 it is the practical yield upon 2.82, it is the theoretical yield into 100. So we get 85.10%. Okay, so 85.10%, it is the percent practical yield of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. Okay, so after that this calculation, let us see the result. Okay, so first of all you have to write down the result compound name, that is 2,3 diphenyl quinoxide. This is the structure. Okay, molecular formula, that is the C20H10 2 nitrogens, okay, molecular weight 282 gram per mole, then theoretically it is 2.82 gram, okay, practically it is found to be 2.4 gram, percent practical yield it is found to be 85.10 gram, and melting point it is before recrystallization it is 118 degree, and after recrystallization it is 122 degree centigrade, okay. So this is the result, and at the last we have to write down the medicinal uses of this compound. Now medicinal uses, this particular heterocyclic ring of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, it is present in many medicinal compounds or chemical structure compounds, okay, or as a basic structure. It is present in antiviral drugs, it is present in anti-protozoal drugs, it is also present in anti-HIV drugs, okay. Also it is present in anti-inflammatory agents, okay, etc. Or it is also present in antibacterial agents, okay. So these are the medicinal uses of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, okay. Now in this way, this is the completion of experiment number 4, that is to synthesize and submerge 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, okay. Okay, as per the procedure, let us do the next experiment, that is the name of this experiment, that is to synthesize and submit 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. Okay, so today we will synthesize the next particular compound, okay, organic compound. We have to synthesize the next organic compound, the name it is the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, okay. Now 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, for that synthesis we want some chemicals as well as the apparatus. So first of all let us see the chemicals which are required for this synthesis. So first of all we require the orthophenylene diamine, okay. After that we require the benzyl in powder form, both in powder form. After that next is particular ethanol or lab solvent, okay. So these are the chemicals which is required for the synthesis of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline, okay. Now after these chemicals we required some apparatus to perform the synthesis. So we required 2 beakers, okay, one it is large and another it is the small. Also we required the stirrer. Also we required the for the filtration, that is the glass funnel, okay. Then filter paper as well as the tripod stand for the filtration, as well as we required the measuring cylinder of 10 ml capacity to measure the particular liquid or chemicals, okay. Also for heating purpose we require the next it is heating mantle, because we are taking into the solution, that is ethanol or rectified spirit. So it is rectified spirit, it is inflammable. So for that we are not heating this ethanol on direct flame of the burner, okay. So we are because it is inflammable and it may be the chances of the accident, that is the which can catch the fire, okay, when we hitting on the directly on the flame of the burners. So to prevent such type of accident, so we will hit these solutions on basically on this particular heating mantle, okay. So let us do the practicals, okay. So into the procedure, first of all you have to weigh 2.1 gram of benzene in 8 ml of rectified spirit, okay. So first of all you have to take 2.1 gram of benzene in 8 ml of rectified spirit, and you have to warm this solution first, okay. And to this warm solution you have to add another solution, that is 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine, okay, in 8 ml of rectified spirit, okay. And after that this solution, after addition in first number solution, so you have to then warm on water bath for 30 minutes, and after the warm with water bath on 30 minutes, then you have to add water until a slight cloudiness persists, that is the formation of crystals after the additions of water after the 30 minutes. then you have to allow to cool, and after that you have to filter, and again after that you have to recrystallize from ethanol. So you get the pure 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. Okay, so first of all you have to make the solutions or prepare the solutions of 2.1 gram of benzene in 8 ml of rectified spirit, and you have to warm until the solids of the benzene it will dissolve into rectified spirit. Okay, so I have taken here and I have weighed about 2.1 gram of benzene. Also I have weighed here 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine, you can see. Okay, so I have taken the weight and I have weighed this 2.1 gram of the benzene and 1.1 gram of the orthophenylene diamine. Now the next step it is I will dissolve this 2.1 gram of benzene in 8 ml of rectified spirit, then I will warm it. Okay, on the heating mantle. So let us do this practical. Now first of all I want to add, so I will add this 2.1 gram of benzene, okay, into this beaker, you can see. Then I will take 8 ml of rectified spirit. Now I have taken here 8 ml of this rectified spirit, you can see 8 ml of rectified spirit. Okay, so I am adding this 8 ml of rectified spirit in this benzene containing in beaker, it contains benzene. Slowly I am adding here. Okay, so after additions of this particular ethanol or rectified spirit completely, then there is a next step, it is the stirring. Okay, so I am stirring this particular mixture to dissolve this benzene in ethanol. Okay, so this benzene it will not dissolve in ethanol, so you have to warm on this particular solution on heating mantle to dissolve this benzene, and you get the solution. And after that this warm solution you have to add the another solutions of this orthophenylene diamine. Okay, okay, side by side I will I am also preparing the solutions of the orthophenylene diamine in particular rectified spirit. So for that I want to take, okay, I will take this beaker. I am taking this another beaker. Okay, in this beaker I will add 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine as well as 8 ml of rectified spirit again. Okay, so let us do this. Now I am adding this 1.1 gram of orthophenylene diamine in this beaker. Okay, let us do this practical. Okay, in this way I have added this orthophenylene diamine in this beaker. After that I am adding this ethanol or rectified spirit, that is 8 ml into this beaker containing orthophenylene diamine. Slowly I am adding. Okay, so after the additions of this ethanol into this orthophenylene diamine, so next step it is to stir this orthophenylene diamine to dissolve this orthophenylene diamine by stirring, okay, into ethanol. So first of all let us dissolve this orthophenylene diamine crystals in ethanol. So this will be solution number 2, and we have the previous solution number 1, that is the benzene and ethanol. Then I will warm this ethanol benzene solution on heating mantle. After these dissolutions of benzene in ethanol, so we get the clear solution after the warm solution. And after the warm solution I will add this orthophenylene orthophenyl diamine solution to this warm solutions of benzene and ethanol after that. Okay, so let us do this practical. Okay, look at here the orthophenylene diamine, the solids are dissolved into this ethanol. Okay, you can see, but some are remaining. So the remaining solids will dissolve after the warming the solution on water bath. Okay, so we will warm this solution later after addition into this warm solution of benzyl ethanol solution. Okay, now after the dissolutions of some particles of this orthophenylene diamine in ethanol, I will do the next step, that is these benzyl solids are not completely dissolved into this ethanol. Okay, so the next step it is you have to warm this, or you have to heat it, this benzyl solution in ethanol on particular heating mantle, so that dissolve the benzyl. And after this warm solutions of this benzyl, then you have to add this orthophenylene diamine solution to these benzyl warm solutions of the benzyl. Okay, after that you have to mix it properly, and then you have to again heat on water bath for 30 minutes. Okay, so let us do this practical. Okay, now you can see there is a heating of this particular ethanol benzyl solution. Okay, so this benzyl solution, now it is the benzyl solids are completely dissolved, you can see, after the warming on this heating mantle. Okay, so after this warming on heating mantle, the next step it is the you have to add to this warm benzyl solution orthophenylene diamine solution. Okay, so the solids of the benzyl it is completely dissolved, and you get the warm solutions of the benzyl. Okay, let us do the next step. Now into this warm solutions of benzyl, you have to add this orthophenylene diamine solution like this. Slowly you have to add. Okay, and complete additions of this orthophenylene diamine solution, you have to shake it properly. Okay, to dissolve or to mix all the orthophenylene diamine crystals as well as the benzyl solution properly. Okay, like this you have to mix it properly. Okay, all the particular crystals of this orthophenylene diamine, it should be comes in solution, it should become in solution. Okay, so you have to mix all the orthophenylene diamine solids into this benzyl warm solution. Okay, like this. Okay, so complete transfer of this orthophenylene diamine crystals as well as the solution into the warm benzyl ethanol solution, you can see here. Okay, so we get such type of mixture. Now the next step it is you have to warm this mixture on water bath, boiling water bath for 30 minutes. Okay, so let us do this practical. Okay, you can see I have started the heating of this mixture on this boiling water bath. Okay, so this heating it is continue for 30 minutes. Okay, now after 30 minutes you have to remove this particular flask or beaker from this water bath. Then you have to add to this solution, you have to add some water, cold water, until you get the precipitate. Okay, so the heating of this mixture it is continue for further 30 minutes on boiling water bath. Okay, so let us do this heating on boiling water bath for 30 minutes. Okay, for 30 minutes on water bath we get this solution. Okay, now to this solution you have to add cold water until you get the precipitate. Okay, so we have here cold water, you can see. Okay, this is cold water, so I am adding this cold water into this solution. Okay, slowly until you get the precipitate. So here formation of some precipitate, you can see here formation of some precipitate after the additions of this cold water. Okay, again I am adding this cold water into this hot solution. Okay, like this. So I am stirring this until you get the precipitate. So here precipitate form, you can see here formation of the precipitate. Okay, into this warm solution. Okay, this precipitate it is formed of the final compound, that is the 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. Okay, again I am adding this remaining cold water. Okay, so I again get this particular precipitate. Okay, now after formation of this precipitate, after the additions of the cold water, now the next step it is you have to stand this solution or cool this solution for further 10 to 15 minutes. So you get the further compound, or you get the final compounds, or you get the large amount of crystals. Okay, So I am placing this solution further for 10 minutes on ice water bath to cool this solution to get maximum amount of crystals of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. Okay, so it will be stand for 10 minutes for further 10 minutes on ice bath for cooling purpose. So you get maximum amount of crystals. Okay, so we will uh, we will stand this solution, or we will keep this solution on ice water bath, okay, for further 10 minutes to give the maximum amount of solid crystals of 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. Okay, so in this way we get our final compounds. You can see, now you can see here after the 10 minutes on ice water bath we get the maximum amount of crystals of our product. You can see maximum amount of crystals. Okay, this is the maximum amount of crystals you can see. Okay, so this is our final compound, that is 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. You can see this is our final compound, 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline. This is final compound. Now let us see, now let us do the next step, that is the filtration. For filtration we have to use simple filtration assembly, this filter paper, okay, funnel. Okay, so let us do the filtration. Okay, so let us do the filtration of this final compound. So we get the solids of this final compound after the filtration. Let us do this filtration. Okay, I have added all these solids or mixture or the slurry of this final compound on filter paper. So there is a filtration. Okay, filtration, it is, I am doing the filtrations of this final compound. Okay, so in this way you get these solids. Okay, you can see this is the solids which are separate on the filter paper. Okay, now after this filtration we have to dry these solids in hot air oven, okay, at 70 degrees centigrade temperature. Then we will go for the particular next step, that is the recrystallization. Now after drying this final compound 2,3 diphenyl quinoxaline in hot air oven, we get this dried product. Okay, we get this dried product. Now after the getting this drying product, the next step it is the weight, taking the weight of this dried product. Okay, so that will be the practical yield of this compound. Then we will go for the recrystallization into ethanol, okay, as solvent. Okay, so after taking the practical yield or weight of this compound, we will do the calculation part, and then we will calculate the particular percent practical yield of this compound. Also before going to recrystallization, we will go for the melting point, and after that we will do the recrystallizations of this compound, and after recrystallization again we will do the melting points of this compound. Okay, after that we will compare the melting point between before the recrystallization and after the recrystallization of this compound. Okay, so let us do the recrystallization, let us do the take the weight of this compound. Also let us do the melting point of these compounds, and after that we will go for the calculations part of this compound, and then we will go for the result. Okay.